Good day, class. I'm Mark. This is Gonzo. Today, we're talking about how to make combat faster. Here's you. Here's me. Gonzo.
Yes, sir.
Combat can be so boring and slow. How are we going to speed it up?
Well, this is a common, it's a common video topic for sure within the D&D YouTube community because this is something that everyone faces at their table. Combat can be sluggish. It is a part of the game where we're actually having to roll the dice, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But we're figuring out how much damage we're doing. Did we hit or did we not? What spell did we use? What's the area effect of the spell? What's the distance that it can travel? All these different things go into play. Did my beast companion, what about their turn and their movement and all that? So there's so much that goes on involved in combat. And when you have multiple players against multiple bad guys, it can really start to slog the game down. So we put this video together to try to help players and DMs alike figure out ways to make combat a little bit faster in the game.
All right. So how are they going to make it faster?
Well, one of the simple ways that I recently heard that I really like that we haven't really talked about in any other video, and that is to acknowledge players when they are doing things that are helping the game move faster. If they are ready when it's their turn, if they've pre-rolled a little bit, their damage to hit and all that thing. If they've got their spell picked out and they're ready to go and they know what the spell does, which is key. Those kind of things. As a dungeon master, how cool is that if you're able to say, hey, good job having that spell ready. And thanks for letting me know because I don't know how all these spells go.
Yeah, a little positive reinforcement. I like that.
Because
that's good.
How it'll make the game go faster is that everyone else at the table will start to see the reaction that the people that are ready or that are getting these compliments, and they will do their best to be ready when it's their turn to. So just that simple little tip of congratulating your players or telling them good job or acknowledging that they did something that helped the game flow better, that's going to help your table.
All right, very good. I like that one.
Well, you should use it.
I think I might. So another way would be using timers. So combat is stressful, and it should be. If you're fighting someone, people don't sit around and go, "Well, I think first I'm going to do this, and then hey, why don't you do that?" You set a timer, and you go like, "Okay, here we go." And if you you put out a timer of some kind, and you can see that time's ticking. They better do something. And that creates that stress. And in fact, I know some people that have tried it said the players are like, that was stressful. Like, well, yeah, combat's stressful. So it makes sense to kind of speed things up and do that. So I think timers is really good. You can use the little kind you get into the games. You could use one on your phone, whatever. But
you could even use a D4 and just start turning it.
You can. And that's actually a little slick trick. You just you put that out. And then just start turning it arbitrarily. Like, what does that mean? All right, just keep going. No reason.
Nothing to see here.
So they're thinking, it's whatever it is, it's counting up. This isn't good. So that's a fun little trick to play on your players.
Yeah.
For another great tip, we've enlisted the help of our good friend Bob the World Builder, and he's going to give us a tip now.
Hey class, Bob here from Bob World Builder with a simple tip for keeping your combat fast and fun. Narrative transitions. Many good dungeon masters like you and I can easily fall into the trap of over-describing the action of a combat scene when we should be focused on redirecting the action to keep it moving. So here's an example of what we normally do. Nice, Legolas. Yeah, you fire an arrow into the orc, piercing its armor, and then when you draw your second arrow and fire it, it goes right into its shoulder, knocking it off balance and causing it to fall off the tower and crash on the ground in a big puff of dirt and dust. All right, so, okay, Aragorn, you're next. What do you do? Now let's turn that description into a narrative transition. Aragorn, Gimli, you both see Legolas take 2 shots as the orc flies right off the tower. When another orc starts rushing up behind him, Aragorn, what are you doing? Both descriptions are good, but the second one pulls the whole party back to attention, relies on their imagination more than your description, and more naturally prompts the next player in initiative to keep your combat on track.
Thanks, Bob. To find out more about some more great tips, make sure you check out the video on how to make combat faster over on Bob the World Builder's channel. Also, you have to check out his video on keeping players' attention. Excellent, very good. That's Bob the World Builder. Great channel, good guy.
Yeah.
The link will be down in the description. Gonzo, what's another great tip that they can do to speed up combat?
So as a dungeon master, one of the things that you get the hang of fairly quickly once you run a few games, and that is to be able to read the room, and being prepared in a way where you can end combat quicker than you need to, or drag it out a little bit if it's not going quite the way you thought it would.
Yeah, so if you start seeing the player start falling asleep, or they're looking at their phones a lot more, this is dragging. Nothing says you have to kill the people all the way down to the last hit point, right? So and they don't know. So
it's a common tip. It's talked about all the time, but it really does help the game, and especially combat, go faster. And that is simply, as a dungeon master, it's not nerfing anything. It's more to the point of, okay, they've gotten the guy down. Let's just end it and move on to the next part of the story, because that's what everyone's interested in. Even if it's just the next room where there's more monsters waiting for them.
Right.
So whatever it may be, depending on what you're playing.
Yeah.
So especially when you know everything that's coming, and you're like, wow, I can't wait till they get here.
Right.
Let's move past this part.
Move on,
that's a great thing to do. Is just let the combat end at some point. Let your players be epic, as they always are. And not wait for that last hit point to be ticked off, that last orc or goblin or whatever it is that you're fighting.
So try these tips in your game. Hopefully they'll make your combat go faster. And with that, class dismissed.
All my life.